Welcome, class, to a workshop on Coach Joe rules. In this lesson, we will review Coach Joe rule number 41, which states, avoid implicit dependencies. Here is a small application that plays the childhood pick-a-number game. The computer generates a random number. The player is prompted to guess a number with the keyboard input. The game logs and displays the result of the guess. Too low, too high, or correct. It loops until the player guesses the number. In most cases, creating an external dependency with the keyword new is bad. There can be two types of external dependencies in your class: implicit and explicit. Implicit dependencies are created by the class with the keyword new. Explicit dependencies are not created by the class. They are injected into the class via a constructor or setter method. The keyword new is not used. In the opening example, there are three implicit dependencies: the scanner, logger, and random objects. The keyword new is your first clue. The second clue is whether another method uses the implicit dependency. It is important to note the use of the keyword new does not always mean you're creating an implicit dependency. There is a difference between creating an object with a data structure and creating an object with behavior. In this Monster Factory class, a value is passed to the createMonster method. A lookup will create the corresponding monster data structure. The purpose is to create an object that will be returned. This is not an implicit dependency. The pick-a-number game example created the scanner, logger, and random objects. These are objects with behavior. Later, inside the class, these object behaviors are used. This is an implicit dependency. Sometimes an implicit dependency is okay. Most of the time it is not. Creating the dependency inside the class is frowned upon and will cause many downstream problems. For starters, it is breaking the D in solid. Review Coach Joe rule number 1 for more information. If changes are made to the dependency class, like the log method name is changed to log message, then a change to this class will be required. If a new random generator object is used, then a change to this class will be required. Testing can become more difficult, if not impossible. In the pick-a-number game tests, how can we guarantee the random number will always match our test? The keyboard input step will indefinitely wait for the value to be typed. The test will never complete. As I said, implicit dependencies can cause many downstream problems. There are times when an implicit dependency is fine. Static main will create an object and then call a method to start the application. This implicit dependency is typically allowed. A small personal project is another great example. Maybe the code inside the dependency never changes, or your class never needs to change the dependency. And most importantly, there are no supporting tests needed. An implicit dependency can be an easy solution. Explicit dependencies should not be created by the class. They should be supplied to the class with a process called dependency injection. Here is an example. Place an external dependency in its own class. Implement an interface to avoid tightly coupled classes. The class needing the dependency will have a private property with an interface as the data type. The constructor accepts this data type and assigns it to the property. Another option is to have a setter method accept this data type. Later, other methods of the class can use this dependency. If the existing dependency changes, say the player input is now supplied with a text message class, swapping out the dependency is easy and requires no changes to this class. Testing is also easier by swapping in a test double. Since you have a choice on the dependency type, I challenge you to use explicit dependencies whenever possible. Leave a comment down below with implicit dependency issues you and your team struggled with. Look for other helpful Coach Joe videos. Remember, future senior developers, make it work, prove it works, then make it better. Ready? Break!